Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. Now, normally when we do Thursday reviews, of course, we normally prioritize TNA and Ring of Honor. However, certain circumstances had to change because of this Saturday and Sunday. If you all know, of course, it's WrestleMania weekend. So WrestleMania day and the days are going to happen on both Saturday and Sunday. However, when it comes to Saturdays, we all know the AEW Collision happens. Now, of course, it was decided, I'm going to believe, a smart move to move, of course, AEW Collision temporarily for this coming Thursday, or should I say now, of course. And I have no problem with it. So today's focus is going to be TNA and AEW Collision. And some of you may ask, what about Ring of Honor? Well, Ring of Honor, from my understanding, is going to be next day. So we'll keep that in mind right there as well. But so that's pretty much the priority for this episode. TNA and AEW Collision. And also to add the bonus, no news updates for today. So let's get started with another deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get started. So, let's begin with TNA. Okay, TNA. Now, we start off with Nick Meneth. As you know, he was successful in defeating AJ Francis at Rebellion. However, he decided to make his way to the ring because AJ Francis, as you know, has an axe to grind with someone from his past, and that is former first class member Casey Navarro. Now, if you guys saw what happened to Rebellion, at least you guys will know what's going on. Those who have missed it, let me explain to you. Casey Navarro, for those who may remember, he joined first class after Rich Swann was injured. But now that he injured himself, he was kicked out. And not to mention, AJ Francis blamed them for what happened at the four-way ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team belt. But now Casey Navarro came back, who has unfinished business with AJ Francis. Now, of course, I'm sure AJ Francis hasn't forgotten what happened with the interference coming from Casey Navarro, but we all know Navarro was looking for some payback for what happened last time. But of course, AJ Francis decided to, let's just say, try to pick a fight with Nick Meneth, who I think he's not done with. But that cost him dearly after, of course, when he had tried to apply the down payment onto Navarro, but Navarro was able to, of course, dodge it and counter it 1, 2, 3 into a pinfall, and just like that, adios. So I'm sure AJ Francis has no one but himself to blame for losing the match. Now, EC3, as you all know, he made his return to TNA at Rebellion in a non in-ring action style. However, let's just say that someone has problem with him, and that is, of course, Iwa Young, who is attempting to cleanse TNA of its fakers. And he thinks that, of course, EC3 is one of them, but he's not sure. But we'll see what happens. Now, the system, as you know, made their presence known. I'm sure we all know that they're happy that they got the TNA World Tag Team belts in their possession. Cedric Alexander, well, you can say he is not done with obtaining the X Division title. But also Eddie Edwards, well, he may not have got what he wanted, the TNA World Championship, but he blames one particular person for the loss of that belt, and that is Moose, of course. But however, Leon Slater comes out telling him that, hey, it was your fault, all this and that. And then, of course, Slater was telling him, hey, I already beat you already, but you're not going to stop me for becoming the youngest wrestler. I mean, keep in mind, guys, he is the youngest. He outbeats, he already surpassed the age that the Amazing Red was during the old days. But now, he's going to be the first ever longest reigning champion. And Cedric Alexander is determined to stop that. Now, Moose comes out, start telling everyone that they're someone's bitch, including, of course, he said to Brian Myers, well, your Edge's bitch. If you remember that song from Joe Hendry, that sort of thing. But of course, Leon Slater said they're willing to go on Matt and he and Moose team up to take on the system. But of course, someone decided, oh hell no, it's not going to happen under my watch. So Daria decided to say, oh, that Santino suspended under investigation. No, she's just being a little too irrational because she's unhappy with her life. That's the whole problem. So she put both Moose and Leon Slater in a 2-on-4 scenario, which is not good. And I hope Brenwall, someone smack him in the back of the head, thinks this is good. It's not. Now, Dario's in the back, of course, doing her own thing until Elijah wanted to have a rematch against Frankie Kazarian. So she called him, and he said no. Well, for those who did not know, there's an exclusive video. I don't know if it's on their YouTube channel, but you can see it, of course, on their social media. Well, Frankie Kazarian decided, oh, hell no, I'm not giving him a rematch. Well, wherever he was at, Elijah decided, not taking a no for an answer. But if I was Daria, you should have just given him what he wanted. So that's what happened. Now, as you know, Tasha Steelz has an axe to grind with Jada Stone. Try to teach her lessons, about coming to TNA. Now, of course, she had those idiots, the Order of 4, getting involved. But, unfortunately, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and the ref kicked them out until Jada Stone used the opportunity, then applied, of course, these, what was it called? The Spark Stunner, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Jada Stone gets her win against Tasha Steelz. Now, once again, we're dealing with the Undead Realm. Well, Rosemary has been bumping into people from her past. Some guy that she knows asked her about her divorce from Bravo. Well, looks like things are working out for her on that. So, that's pretty cool. Now, in the back, we did see Nick Meneth and Casey Navarro chilling. Meneth is happy for Navarro that he finally got his pound of flesh against AJ Francis. However, baby brother, of course, Ryan Meneth, seems like he's a bit jealous. The fact that he's talking to him. Look, this is not about the brotherly thing going around between them. This is about two people that have a common enemy, which is AJ Francis. And Ryan Meneth is not getting the message on that. But however, they were rudely interrupted by the system, of course, acting, oh, you guys think you're a family? You're not. We are a real family. And Nick Meneth got in the face of Bear Bronson, so we may see those two take on. And of course, Ryan Meneth being this type of thing, acting like he thinks he's all tough and all that. But yes. Now, Mike Santana, as you know, made his presence known. As you know, still retaining the TNA World title. So basically, he decided to call his next opponent, and he called out, of course, Rich Swann. And of course, Rich Swann come out and he told him, "Are you sure this is what you want?" And then he said it, but he goes like, "I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Daria, make it happen." Because he knows that this is gonna be a good match. Daria better listen because she thinks that she makes it happen. People want to see this match. Now, Li Yingling, as you know, is still suffering the heartbreak of betrayal from Xia Brookside. If you saw what happened in Rebellion, Xia Brookside turned on her, costing her the TNA Knockouts World Title. So who knows what things are going to go down. But of course, Xia Brookside saw the video thing, and then of course Gia Miller wanted to comment on what's going on with her. Why did she betray her? But Xia Brookside just walked off with no response whatsoever. Now, we were expecting the match between, of course, EC3 and Eric Young. Well, Eric Young, as you know, being the guy who's trying to say he's the real deal, and a guy like EC3 is nothing but a faker. Man, this match, we were supposed to have this match, but the match went crazy and chaotic. Referee couldn't even control the matter, and it ended in a no contest. And once again, we've been seeing EC3 and Eric Young. It seems like they can't get themselves to stop beating the hell out of each other. So who knows what's going to happen. But Daria, if I were you, make this happen some way or the other before it gets out of hand even further. Now, in the Undead realm, well, Tessa Blanchard, Mila Moore, and Victoria Crawford had no idea what themselves had got into. But we did see, of course, Rosemary with Sade dealing with some matters until Allie showed up out of the blue. But that's when, of course, Father James Mitchell directed the scared trio, Tessa, Milo, and Victoria, out of the Undead realm. However, when they thought they were safe, they back in the TNA arena, well, apparently, Rosemary and Marsha, they decided to get their pound of flesh on everything. But out of nowhere, someone from the dead just came back, and that is, of course, Allie. No one expected her to come back, and she did. And of course, Tessa Blanchard cannot even believe it. So we'll see what this is going to turn out to. Now, the Hardys, as you know, they still have an axe to grind with the Righteous, you know. Seems like their feud is not done yet. So it seems we're going to see where these two teams are going to meet again. Now, our main event is the System. All four members taking on Leon Slater and Moose. Now, of course, we know these guys have their own problems towards the System. But, of course, it was going to be a hassle knowing it's a 2-on-4 scenario. But unfortunately, Leon Slater was not the fortunate one because he ended up in the lumbar check by Cedric Alexander. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Cedric once again picked up the win on Leon Slater. So most likely, Alexander will definitely get another opportunity of the X Division title because that's something that he's determined to win. And we'll see what happens. We know that they're not going to let him try to become the longest reigning youngest champion in TNA. So we'll see where that leads us there too. So right now, we are done with TNA. Let's move on with our last review, and that is AEW Collision. Okay, AEW Collision. We opened up with Adam Copeland, as you know. Well, he looked like he's been through hell after what happened in Dynasty, losing in the AEW World Tag Team Belt match. Well, let's just say, as you know, he's not done with FTR, but this is no longer about the tag team belts whatsoever. This has become personal in every level. Now, of course, FTR, as you know, are determined to put him on the ground and keep him there. And of course, like cowards that they are, they called in a favor. And they called in Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I'm talking about Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, aka RPG Vice, to help in the matter. But until Super Kick Party, yep, the Young Bucks became backup. So you probably can guess how this is going to go. So this is far from over. Now, Jungle Jack Perry, as you know, in Dynasty, he was successful in the 0 Hour, defending the AEW National Championship for the first time against, of course, Mark Davis. However, he knows perfectly well that Don Callis' family will love nothing more to obtain that belt and bring it back to Don Callis' family. So he told him, Don, bring whoever you want to bring. So send your next challenger. So that's exactly what I'm sure he's going to figure out. Now, in the ring, we have tag team action. We have, of course, Zachary Wentz and Myron Reed versus the Young Bucks. I thought this match was fantastic. Great pacing, some great innovative offense from both sides. I mean, damn. I mean, it's one of those matches that you probably would think, man. But however, if the Rascals were able to defeat, of course, the Bucks, this would solidify them to, of course, make how do I say, an argument that they would definitely will love to have a shot of the AEW World Tag Team belts, which is something they have aimed for in the past, but unsuccessful. But however, this match ended with, of course, the Meltzer driver on Zachary Wentz, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, the Bucks picked up the win. However, during the post-match, we did not expect the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors, to show up, wiping out the Bucks and the Rascals. Desmond Xavier, who was there, he didn't. He ended up being beaten. So you probably can guess that the Dogs are making a statement here, as you know. So who knows what they're gonna plan to do? So we're gonna pay attention a little bit on that. Now, our next match is an eliminator match for the AEW World Trios belts. We have, of course, the conglomeration, Roderick Strong, Kyle Fletcher, and Orange Cassidy, taking on Lethal Twist, consisting of Jay Lethal, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson. Now, of course, we can tell that, of course, Lethal Twist are attempting to use whatever it took to take down their opponents. They even try to get rid of Kyle O'Reilly, who recently came back from injury. That kind of played out exactly what they would have wanted, but it did not whatsoever. We did see a moment where we saw those kicks that Orange Cassidy does. Well, let's just say Blake Christian should have known better that Orange Cassidy has changed just a tad bit. But nonetheless, however, Johnson was the one who ended up suffering the most after, of course, Kyle O'Reilly put him in the ankle lock, and just like that, he tapped out. Now, Hook was on his way out, of course, in the back, going to some coffee shop, but Anthony Bowens asked him, is he in the ops? So he told him that he'll let him know. I'm sure that he's considering it. Now, our next match, we have Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, which is a very unusual team-up. They take on Big Ann and Danica Della Page. You can guess this match ended with Statlander and Shida picking up the win, thanks to, of course, Chris Statlander applying Saturday Night Fever on Big Ann, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Now, we did have another eliminator match for the AEW Continental Championship. Nick Wayne faces against Jon Moxley. Now, this is one of those matches where Nick Wayne needs to see it's time to act like a man instead of a child, and leave your mother back in the back. And that's exactly what he tried to do. But he even was able to, of course, make Jon Moxley bleed. But however, that only fueled his intensity, and that's exactly what happened. Jon Moxley applied the Death Rider, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we did see, of course, a interview that was conducted for this past Saturday at Sunday for Dynasty, where Don Callis and Okada, as you know, what happened this past Thursday. But however, Senior wanted to know, even though what happened this past Sunday, where Takeshita cost the match against the Bucks, Don Callis was determined not to give him that, but give the AEW Continental, the international title, to Takeshita. But Okada's like, hell no, give me this match, and that's just gonna happen. So Lexi wants to know, are you going to give it to him? Because, of course, there's no way Don Callis is going to let that happen. But Okada wants what he gets. The only thing I know for sure what I think of that is that Okada, like I said, he's trying to say I'm the bigger person than Takeshita. He's in the bottom. I'm at the top. So I'm sure that's what we're gonna see. Now our next match, well, this was a very interesting one. We have Pac of the Death Riders taking on Leo Slater. Now, I mean Leo Rush, my bad. And Leo Rush was acting a bit strange, talking to himself. Ref's like, "Hello," and of course Pac is being a bit more wary towards him. But later he kicked him in the face, but that was a huge mistake, all that. And then of course what's funny, Pac was trying to run away from him until of course Leo Rush bumped into Danny Garcia and he was trying to take a bite out of him. And then, but however, of course, he ended up losing to Pac on the Brutalizer. But of course, Pac had to hightail it out because he knows you don't want to be around a very weird person who's talking to himself mostly. So I would have done the same thing too. Now, our next match we have, well, you can say it's a squash match. We have Brody King teaming up with Mascara Dorada and Mystico taking on three other guys, Ricky Gibson, Casey Riff, and Cole River. Now, this match ended with, of course, chops to the chest, high flying outside the ring, and then, of course, the Gonzo bomb in that order. So, just like that. Now, of course, Statlander and Shida were celebrating their win until Lexington showed up saying to Hikaru Shida that someone wants to talk to her. And that person was Mina Shirakawa. I don't know what they said, but I did hear Shida make a reference about angels. I'm not sure if she's referring to the cosmic angels, due to what's going on right now. As you know, their existence is at the existence of the cosmic angels at stake. But however, Mina Shirakawa made a very interesting point. She saw a kendo stick at the day that, of course, Tony Storm was attacked. So the real question I think many people are saying, was it Hikaru Shida that caused it? Even what Mina told Statlander that she doesn't trust her. So we'll see where that goes. Now our main event is for the AEW Women's Championship, of course, Tekla versus Alex Windsor. I thought this match was brutalized completely. Tekla is determined to bring all the toxic into AEW, and that's exactly what she did until she stomped her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, adios. It was completely over. So we'll see what happens until then. But for now, we are done. We have no news updates for today, so we'll leave things as it is. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do now. I'm personally thinking maybe Ring of Honor might be another logical choice. But however, I'm trying to debate whether if I should do the next episode or not. The reason is because, well, those who know this, I work security and I have to wake up early in the dang morning and I have a very long shift. So I don't know exactly how tired I'm going to be, but I'll see what I can do. I'm going to try to keep things to a minimum. But at the same time, because of the following day, I actually have to, I have other errands to do, a very small one. But we'll see how that works out for me. So we'll just wait and see. So as of right now, I'll say this, that I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.